Hello and welcome to Darren's Travels. On this channel, I talk about traveling around the world by yourself if you're a guy, and particularly if this is your first trip overseas also. Today, I'm going to talk about online dating when you're overseas. And I don't think online dating is very useful for most guys in the world, but when you're traveling overseas, here's how you can use the platforms. I have Tinder on my phone, and I have the location where I can switch the location on it. You pay I think $70 a year, and you can switch your location. And so instead of being here in America, you switch your location to where you're going to be visiting, and then you can swipe all the girls in that city. And the reason why you do that is for two reasons. One, you're going to do what's called sampling. You're going to try to find out if the girls in that city like you. And two, you're going to just try to basically find a friend, find kind of like a tour guide for when you land to take you around the city. First is called sampling. So basically, like I said, you switch your location so that you're swiping the girls in the city that you're about to go to. And you find out if the girls kind of like your look and if they're going to like you and if you're going to have a hard time talking to girls or an easy time talking to girls when you get over there and dating and all that. And so you swipe all the girls, in the city, and if you get a ton of matches, then you know that when you land, it's going to be relatively easy. And then vice versa, if none of the girls match with you when you're swiping, then you'll know when you land, you're going to have a hard time. And ironically, or I think it's kind of funny that it is quite accurate in my experience. I remember and I've done this pretty much 80% of the time when I've traveled, I switched my location and tried to meet girls to show me around or just to kind of see how I was going to be received when I got overseas. And I did that in 2019 when I went to Russia. And I remember I got tons of matches in Moscow. I got tons of matches in St. Petersburg. And when I got there, talking to girls was relatively easy. Going out was relatively easy. Getting numbers on Instagram was relatively easy. And dating was relatively easy. All kind of the same thing as kind of what it already told me that based on the Tinder matches, it would be easy, and it was. The flip side, when I went to Belgrade, Serbia, I did the exact same thing back in 2022, I think. I switched my locations from here in America to Belgrade. And I swiped all the girls in Serbia, and I got almost zero matches when I was swiping. It was kind of funny. I thought the thing was broke, but I got very few matches, I should say. And then when I got there, I think I was 0 for 15, basically. None of the girls really liked me. There's pretty girls in Belgrade for sure. The most fit girls in the world. I've said that in a video before. I'll put it up in the card as far as good-looking girls around the world. But the Serbian girls are the most fit girls in the world. Not the prettiest faces, but incredible bodies. But anyways, they didn't like me though, and so they didn't like me when I was there. They didn't like me on Tinder. But so it was kind of accurate in most of the places I've ever been. It's been about the same. Azerbaijan, it was pretty good. It was pretty good online. Poland, it was okay, but not as good when I got there. Sweden was good. Sweden was good when I got there. So it's pretty accurate. So basically that's what you do. You can switch your location on online dating, start swiping and see if the girls like you. And so that you'll know when you get there kind of what time you're going to have talking to the girls. That's called sampling, if you've ever heard of it. And then the second thing is I use online dating just to find like a friend, like to find a tour guide. Some of the girls on Tinder who you match with, they'll match with you and they're kind of like pros basically, in the sense, not pros like in pay for play, but pros as in they're like real tour guides, and then they have like a pretty legitimate business and all that. And so you can match with them and tell them, say, hey, look, I'm going to be in your city in 2 weeks. I know these are some of the cool clubs or cool rooftop bars that I want to go to. Would you want to go, or can you take me around? Can you take me around to all the cool nightlife spots? Can you take me around to all the tourist spots? And then kind of show me kind of like the secret things that the locals know about. So you'll have somebody like a local friend on the ground. You're not, like I say, you're not trying to match for like dating, that's not your priority anyway. I mean, if it happens, great, but that's not the point of it all. like I've said many times before, I mean, if you want to like hook up with chicks, stay in America, because it's 1,000 times easier in America than it is overseas. So when you go overseas, you're not looking for that necessarily. You're just basically trying to find somebody who can show you around, somebody can get you into the clubs, get you into the places, as a local. So you're looking for like a buddy, you're looking for a friend, and you can use Tinder for that, or I guess you could probably use any other dating app, whether it's Bumble or Hinge or any of those other ones that I use. I don't use them, like I said, for here in America, but if you can change your location and then match with the local girls where you're about to visit, do that so you'll have somebody to hang out with. Again, obviously, if you're traveling by yourself, so when you land, you can do that. I usually do that at least one day, maybe 2 days when I'm overseas, is I'll try to hang out with a local girl that I met online before. So I hope that helps. Again, that's the way, two good ways to use online dating when you travel by yourself. Use it to find out if the girls are going to like you in the place you're going to, and also see if you can find a friend to show you around to all the cool places in the city. Again, if you've never been there, well, presumably you've never been there before. So that's how I use online dating. That might help you if your first trip overseas. And so I'll leave the next video about, like I said, where all the good looking girls are, my top 7 or 8 list. And then it's entertaining anyway. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.